From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story this evening. In the coming weeks, the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District must cut their proposed operating budget by nearly $8 million.
According to Superintendent Pete Lewis, the cuts will have a significant impact next school year, especially in the classroom. This year, he expects to send notices to between 50 and 70 teachers about being laid off. Last year, 16 teachers were laid off. As staff positions disappear, the district could see a significant jump in classroom sizes, perhaps 3 extra students per class. There will be a community meeting in early February after the district releases their budget proposal.
And we obviously want to keep cuts as far away from the classroom as we can, but unfortunately, over the previous several years, we've made pretty significant cuts across our district, and we're at that place now where it is going to affect the classroom. And it's not a matter of whether or not class size will get bigger, it's a matter of how much.
The Senate Majority Caucus held its first press availability of the 2014 legislative session today. Several topics were addressed, including budget shortfalls and how to deal with them. School districts across the state have talked about cutting staff and classes because of reductions in funding. It was pointed out that a lot of federal funding that school districts depended on was given as a one-time grant and is no longer available. Fairbanks Senator Pete Kelly addressed the funding issue.
One of the things I think that is most important from the perspective of the people in my district anyway, is that they have come to the conclusion that we're not getting what we wanted as a state from our education system. And we have said, kind of in this informal discussion over the last 20 years or 10 years, whatever it is, we want some innovation. And what we get back mostly from the education community is we want more money.
In 1973, the Supreme Court of the United States, in the case of Roe v. Wade, struck down most state laws restricting abortion in the first trimester of pregnancy. Today, across the nation, hundreds of thousands of Right to Life movement supporters gathered to protest abortions. Locally, the day was marked by civil protesters marching across the Cushman Street Bridge. The goal of the group was to peacefully bring recognition to the public of how serious the group feels that active abortion, along with the mandate from the Supreme Court, be abolished.
I'd like to see it brought back to the public consciousness that it seems that it's been 41 years and it's become something that we're comfortable with and that we don't even really think about necessarily as something that's happening that's real. And I'd like people to be aware that it is still something that's affecting millions of families everywhere.
Today, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the Department of the Interior violated the law when it sold offshore oil and gas leases in the Chukchi Sea off the coast of Alaska. The decision stems from a lawsuit filed by a coalition of Alaska Native and conservation groups. In response to the decision, the organizations issued a joint statement saying the ruling was a victory for the Arctic Ocean. It's the second time a court has found that the leasing system did not meet legal protections for ocean resources. The environmental groups said Shell Oil Company's problems demonstrated companies are not ready to drill in the Arctic Ocean.
This ruling is important because it means that the public has a voice. The Arctic Ocean may seem a long way away, but it's vital to fisheries, to salmon, to marine mammals and birds that people throughout the state depend on and that the local residents are fiercely dependent on.
All right, when we come back, some Hollywood actors have been in Fairbanks filming a movie. Isn't that neat?
Oh yeah, I was hanging with them earlier.
Oh, me too.
Also, military kids have a program to help each other. That's our military report. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. With the Arctic Winter Games just around the corner, today a group of 6th graders from Denali began the process of promoting the event through music. The elementary students were singing a composition that was written and produced by local musicians Fairbanks and Heath Robertson and John Kohler Jr. The song is titled Light the Torch and will capture the spirit of the games, featuring 9 teams from all over the world, including Greenland, Canada, and Russia. The Arctic Winter Games begin the 15th of March.
I think they feel good because it's right outside of our classroom. All these international superstar athletic people are going to come, just virtually a couple blocks away from where we learn every day. So that's exciting. They're now going to welcome the athletes with their awesome song. And I think that spirit of community and definitely a Fairbanks vibe is what these kids are getting out of it. It's a cool celebration of Fairbanks as well as the Arctic Winter Games.
Fairbanks has become the backdrop to yet another Hollywood film. For the past 2 weeks, a crew from Los Angeles has been shooting a drama movie around the interior's largest city. Some of the noted actors include Academy Award nominee Graham Greene, Golden Globe nominee Sherilyn Fenn, and actor James Remar. The film centers on a polar bear gone bad, and the lead character, played by Remar, is charged with saving the village. But it was local Fairbanksans who brought the film to their hometown.
Two of our executive producers, two of the people that are financing the film, are from Fairbanks. And so I'd been up here. We'd done another movie with them, All American Christmas Carol. And, you know, they wanted to bring a film to Fairbanks and picturesque. You know, this film, the area is just so beautiful, you know. And I mean, like in our film that we're doing right now, the camera just loves the sky, loves the trees, loves the snow, you know, and we just put an actor in and we don't have to light. I mean, it's lit when we show up.
All right, we will have much more about the film tomorrow during the Fairbanks Evening News and News Center Final on That's Interiortainment.
Normally, during our weekly military report, we focus on the intense training and activities they conduct day in and day out. Well, tonight, News Center 11's own Stephanie Woodard changes it up a bit and shows you another side to the soldiers and their families.
Over 100 students at Ryan Middle School and Ladd Elementary participate in a program called Ladd Buddies. So see how it's just kind of like your feet. The program pairs military middle school age children with elementary levels of 1st and 2nd grade.
It's mostly for children who have their parents and they're deployed overseas or in some other country, and we go there and we hang out with them so they have somebody to connect to so that they don't feel all alone where they are.
Teachers say the program is made to help them cope with some added pressures their lifestyles may bring.
They don't get a lot of recognition, but they go through a lot being part of a military family. You know, they take on added responsibilities. They maybe take on a little bit of added stress, having their parents gone and things like that.
The students in the program enjoy being able to mentor younger kids.
I know how I felt when I was younger and it was kind of weird, so I get to help them out with it too. If like my dad's gone or something, then I get to take my mind off it and worry about someone else for a little while.
Overall, the kids say the program's pretty cool.
I like Ladd Buddies. I mean, I would have liked to have been a Ladd Buddy as a little Ladd Buddy, but I really like connecting with them and just hanging out with them, and they're actually really cool kids.
Stephanie Woodard, News Center 11.
The Military Report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
The Golden Heart Community Foundation was formed almost a year ago for the purpose of securing donations for charitable purposes to improve the quality of life for community residents. Tuesday at the weekly Chamber of Commerce luncheon, the chairman of the Golden Heart Community Foundation told the audience that the foundation was acquiring new donors daily and that the Rasmussen Foundation was also contributing donations to raise the amount collected so far to over $100,000. Tuesday, the Golden Heart Community Foundation presented checks to the Fairbanks Hospital, the Community Food Bank, and the Breadline.
I wanted to explain the Community Foundation and its importance to Fairbanks and how it's really establishing a savings account for Fairbanks for the long-term future of our community. And to just educate people so they know this is a giving vehicle for them, that they can give today, they can leave money in their wills, and so hopefully some of the success and wealth people have earned here will stay here in our community for the long-term benefit of Fairbanks.
So, Daryl, would you be able to save the city from the polar bear gone bad?
No, I wouldn't. You know, that's a hero film, and I'm usually cast as the darker, moodier, kind of creepy character guy.
Oh,
yeah,
that
but
explains
I like
a lot.
It's a paycheck. It's a paycheck. There's another superstar in town, and that, of course, is Joe Cook, and he's up next with sports. He has a special story about a historic weekend for hockey happening right in Fairbanks.
Stay tuned for that. Plus, the Nanook basketball teams gear up for road trips. Sports is next.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Let's get you over the hump with some sports. Today we have a story featuring Nanook hockey, but it's not the men's WCHA team, the Alaska Women's Hockey Club. That's right, there is a women's hockey team up on the hill. They will be doing something that's never been done before, and you can witness it this weekend for free. Here's more. The Alaska Women's Hockey Club is in its 5th year of existence up at UAF. They play in the Women's Division II American Collegiate Hockey Association. This weekend they will be hosting the University of Delaware for a pair of games. But this just isn't any old hockey series. The Alaska Women's Hockey Club will be making history. On Friday, right here in the Patty Center on their home ice, they will be hosting the first ever women's college hockey game in the state of Alaska.
It's so exciting. I'm so excited to have everyone, well not everyone, but a bunch of people in the community come watch us for the first time ever. People from our school get to see us, and it'll just be so much fun.
The Nanooks and Blue Hens play at 4:30 in the Patty and 3 p.m. in the Carlson Center before the men's team on Saturday for a doubleheader. This matchup won't be a gimme. Alaska is 3-1 on the year, and Delaware is 5-10-2 and ranked 4th in the Eastern region. UAF has faced the Blue Hens twice in national tournaments. Delaware won in 2012, and Alaska won last year.
I think we're about evenly matched, so it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a real good game. Passing, we do a lot of passing. We're working on scoring goals, so we're going to try to score lots of goals.
Why has it taken so long for a women's college hockey game to happen in Alaska? It comes down to money and geography. The closest opponent for the Nanooks in the ACHA is Minot State in North Dakota, over 2,500 miles east. The team gets no funding from the university since it's a club sport, and players need sponsors and fundraising to travel and play. The team just received new hockey bags that cost about $1,000 thanks to various donors. Rookie Janelle Pasco, who's come up through the Icebreakers and Arctic Bears programs in Fairbanks, believes this weekend will mean more than winning and losing.
I think it's great for all the younger girls playing in Fairbanks. They will know that they can actually stay here for college and play UAF. Maybe they'll get a more idea of what Fairbanks hockey is like and what it comes up to even in college level. It'll get us a lot of exposure and let everybody in the community see like what we have to offer and what we're capable of as a team, and we'll get more support hopefully from people who get to see us, so it'll be big.
The Nanook men's basketball team will be on a long 4-game road trip this week. They'll have to deal with some extra attention right off the bat. The Nanooks will play at St. Martin's, but the game will be broadcasted on Root Sports as the GNAC Game of the Week. Some more cameras and lights, but this team's main focus will be trying to win away from the Patty Center. The Nanooks have won 10 straight at home, but are just 1-3 on the road and 1-2 on a neutral floor. Their last road win, however, was at MSUB, and it started their current 3-game winning streak. Head coach McDermott hopes this team can endure a hyped crowd at St. Martin's because the Nooks will have 3 more tests at Western Oregon, Western Washington, and Simon Fraser.
Normal GNAC crowd, we might be able to get in there and it might not be too bad. I think the students will be pretty excited. So I think dealing probably with the bigger crowd is a bigger issue.
I think we definitely need to get better at closing in the last 4 to 6 minutes of a game. I think we got to be better closers. That's something we need to work on the road.
We got to come in with the same mindset like we do in the home games and treat it like an away game. So we got to just come out, play our defense, play together, and continue just to bring the same energy that we always do.
And the women's basketball team will also be on the road this week. They've been competitive in their last couple of games, coming back from double-digit deficits, but have lost 6 of their last 8. They'll need to tighten up on their turnovers. They've had 23 or more in their last 5 games. The Nanooks, though, are out-rebounding their opponents for the last 5 games. This week they'll face Simon Fraser. The Clan are just a game back from 4th place. They also have the GNAC's leading scorer in Aaron Chambers at 21.5 points per game. On Saturday, UAF visits Western Washington, a team who is tied for first. The Vikings are efficient, leading the conference in field goal and 3-point shooting percentage. The Nanooks are 8-7 overall, but are 4-2 on the road this season. Next week, one of the biggest events in Fairbanks kicks off, or skates off, I should say. Hockey Week in Fairbanks starts on January 31st. The 10-day event concludes on Sunday, February 9th. This event is in its 8th year. One of the major highlights of this year's Hockey Week is on the first day. Phil Pritchard, the Vice President and Curator for the Hockey Hall of Fame, will be bringing in exhibits from the hall to be shown at the Carlson Center from 6 to 10. More Hall of Fame exhibits will be at the Big Dipper on Saturday, February 1st from 11 to 4. Also in the Glacier Room of the Alpine Lodge on Friday, January 31st, after the Nanniks game against Alabama Huntsville, a video called Tales of the Cup will also be presented. It talks about the deep history of the Stanley Cup. And guess what? It's free. There will be a 3-on-3 hockey tournament, blood drive, backyard rink contest, Skate with the Ice Dogs, which is a new event, and of course hockey games. During the 10 days of Hockey Week in Fairbanks, the Nanniks and Ice Dogs will be in action. There's something for everybody. For the full schedule of events and link to the Hockey Week in Fairbanks website, visit the webcenter11.com sports page. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again. Time to take a look at the weather, and what can we say? But the temperatures are wonderful, except the roads are getting a little bit slick out there. We're looking at the mild temperatures to continue right on through the weekend. We'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. Our photograph for tonight, we're going to call this an artistic sunset for obvious reasons, with all the trees there and everything, really painting a beautiful picture there. This was sent in by Thomas Schneider. Again, if you have a photograph you ever want to share, by all means send it to photos@ktvf11.com. What's going on at the airport is 27 degrees, but our high today was 30 degrees. The overnight low 19 degrees, and the record high was in 2008, got up to 37 that day, down to 60 below in 1906. Sunrise and sunset, not quite 6 hours of daylight. We'll go past that tomorrow. What does our satellite and radar look like? Again, a lot of moisture off there, very impressive, but it's all remaining once again down to the south. In fact, you can see the Alaska Range blocking everything else, so we're not getting any kind of precipitation in here. Most of the precipitation is over the southwest part of the state and down around the Anchorage Bowl. In fact, on our map tonight, you can see once again we're looking at rain widespread across southeast Alaska, also cloudy skies over the south central sections, sunshine around Nome, and some snow shower activity on the north slope. Lower 48 weather, again, the news tonight is all the cold temperatures that are moving in across the northern plains. 6 degrees in Minneapolis, not too bad around the southern sections, 60 degrees at Dallas. The drought continues over California, and some lingering snow across the New York area. Again, the satellite and radar showing the sweeping motion of this area of low pressure moving across the Great Lakes, and then a little more moisture moving across the Central Plains. Now, how much snow did they get? Well, you can see right here, New York, close to New York, almost more than a foot of snow. It was more than 1.5 feet of snow in parts of Massachusetts. And then down across close to Philadelphia, they got close to 1 foot of snow there too. So a very, very intense storm. And the overall outlook, once again, is calling for the cold air to continue moving across the eastern and northeastern sections, while out to the west, things look pretty darn nice. Drought continues, though, unfortunately, for California. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. The northern sections blowing snow at Barrow, snow in Nome and Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, look out for some winds around the Healy and Delta Junction areas, gusting to 60 miles an hour. Otherwise, snow showers in the Fairbanks area. Over southeast Alaska, widespread rain for Juneau and Ketchikan. While out to the southwest, we're looking at rain for Cold Bay and Kodiak. Snow may mix with some rain in the Bethel area. And over the south central regions, you can see here, cloudy skies in Anchorage, rainy at Valdez, and cloudy skies for Homer. Okay, time once again for our kids' weather, and all this week talking with the kids from Anderson Elementary School. Tonight, here's a young lady with a question for me.
Hi, my name is Andrea. I am from Mrs. Lesage's second grade class at Anderson Elementary School. Here is my question for the weatherman. Why is the weather different between Fairbanks and St. Michael, where I used to live?
Well, Andrea, you have a lot of different weather going on because of all the topography, all the different hills and mountains and everything else, and the winds blowing different directions. So being a long way away from Fairbanks, you're going to get different weather. Tomorrow night, the teacher's going to be here sharing your weather fact. Okay, here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. 24 degrees, the overnight low with clouds and mild temperatures continuing. Tomorrow's forecast, cloudy and mild with scattered snow shower activity, and 31 degrees. And the extended forecast, as you can see here, we're looking at maybe some snow shower activity on Friday with cloudy skies for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then maybe the chance of snow moving back in the picture for Tuesday. But the key factor, once again, mild temperatures to continue overnight and during the daytime hours. And it also means, of course, very slick roads. I saw quite a few folks slipping around today, so be careful out there by all means.
Once again, the trend continues. Cold in the lower 48, warm up here. Flip-flopping.
And no end in sight right now either.
Right.
Wow.
At least through the end of the month.
I heard some people talking about get winter tires if you're spinning out across the intersection. Well, I can attest. I have winter tires.
I got
I'm
Blizzaks.
Still spinning out on.
Yeah, I got Blizzaks.
Yeah,
They're still
slow
spinning around. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, just be careful out there.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Mike. That'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are always glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, on edge in Sochi tonight. That's next with Brian Williams.
Join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime, webcenter11.com.
Okay, from all of us here at the News Center, have a great night. We'll see you at 11.
Light the torch. Put